Hello.
Hello,
Hello, I'm Danny. Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too.
What's your name?
My name's Reza.
Rezan. Very nice to meet you.
Right.
And how old are you, Rezan?
I'm 14, but I'm getting 15.
So you're almost 15. When is your birthday?
14th of March.
Oh, wow. Very close. That's so exciting. And what are you going to do for your 15th birthday?
Nothing.
Nothing? What about maybe something with your family?
Maybe watching a film.
All right, perfect. So a relaxed birthday party. Very good. And you sent me a video yesterday.
Yeah,
So I watched that video. It looks like you have a YouTube channel.
yeah, correct.
So can you tell me a little bit about that?
We have opened it at COVID year, and actually my father opened this channel because of he don't want that we have. He wants that we talk with other peoples, and if we didn't talk with other peoples, he thinks that it's a bad thing. And he opened this channel, and he have learned something about Cambly. We have do lessons at Cambly at that time, and I'm here for now.
Okay, so you started on Cambly during COVID.
Yeah.
All right,
And
and that's because your dad wanted you to socialize and
yeah,
like practice speaking. Awesome.
and if it isn't a problem, I want to publish this video too.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Thanks.
Do you do that? I haven't looked at your other videos on YouTube, but do you? What is the idea behind your YouTube video? What type of videos do you make?
Actually, we have to do some talking videos at Cambly, and I can do experiments with my sister, and my brother have do English videos as well.
Okay, so
And
you share the channel with your brother and sister.
yeah,
All right, that's so cool. Let me pull up your channel right now. So I watched that one about, putting the orange in water. So you're is that something you learned at school, that experiment?
no, I have learned it from YouTube. Actually, my father have found it on YouTube, and I don't believe it at first, and I have tried it, and I see that it's real.
Okay, awesome. So you're trying it out for yourself, and why
Yeah,
not film it and practice explaining it to people and kind of sharing it online so other kids can try it themselves. Okay, so you put one with your American English tutor on Cambly.
yeah,
Awesome.
it's my brother's.
Oh, that's your brother. Okay. Conversation for beginners. Exercise. We talk about plans and daily life. Okay, excellent. And do people ever comment on your videos and say, wow, this is so helpful, this is so interesting?
Thanks.
So let me see, which one is, this is you here. So a new one here, but you don't have any comments on it. Okay, but you have 2,000 people or 1,000, over 1,000 subscribers. So lots of people are watching your videos.
Thanks.
And do you know who watches your videos? Is it other kids
Actually,
learning English?
we can see who see, but I have never seen them until the 1 year.
Can you?
I've seen once 1 year before, and after that time I don't have seen anymore.
That you don't see the comments or who people are watching. Okay, but I'm sure it's other people also learning English and kind of interested in what like an English conversation class would look like.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And if you've been on Cambly since the pandemic, you must have been very young back then, like 10 years
Yeah,
old when you started.
correct.
Hmm. And did you start on Cambly Kids or on the regular Cambly
At first,
platform?
I'm at Cambly Kids, as you state.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And did you complete all of the courses on Cambly Kids?
No, I have do it a little bit, and then I have gone with normal Cambly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yes, your fluency would have improved much
Yeah.
more. And were you able to speak in English before you started on Cambly?
Before the starting Cambly, I have go to an English course since one for the first grade, and after the course, I have some other courses at school, and before that, I must get out of the course that I go for English, and after that, I have scribed Cambly again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent. And you speak very, very well, Razan, as well. So
Thanks.
all that hard work, all of those conversations have paid off. And I'm sure you've learnt a lot of amazing things from talking to people from all over the world in this time.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever tell your friends about this and kind of, that you have
Yeah,
conversations with?
I've
Mm-hmm.
told.
And do they think that's really cool?
Yeah, sometimes
Awesome.
it isn't
Mm-hmm.
something interesting actually.
Exactly. For me, this job is very interesting because I just spoke to somebody from Brazil. Now I'm speaking to you, living a different life in Turkey. And I get like different perspectives all day long from people around the world.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And then tell me, you started learning English and now do you really enjoy speaking and you want to learn more and become more fluent?
Yeah, actually, now I don't learn other languages. Actually, I learn English as well, but not much as before. And I've tried to learn new languages like Germany or Swedish.
Oh, Swedish. Okay. So you're learning German and Swedish.
Yeah,
Okay. So I know lots of students in Turkey learn German, but I haven't heard of as many people learning Swedish. So why do you want to learn Swedish?
because I want to go Sweden.
All right. And why do you want to go to Sweden?
It's cool because cool.
Uh-huh. But what made you interested in Sweden? Did you meet someone from there? Uh-huh.
No, actually, I have know something about Sweden, and they are interest me like the Sweden meatballs or the pancake
Uh-huh.
that it's have made by Sweden peoples, and I have interest and I want to learn much more about them, much
All
more
right.
about Sweden.
So from the Swedish meatballs, that's a very good reason to want to learn Swedish. All right, awesome. And do you know where I'm from, Razan?
Mm, I have seen it, but I don't remember now.
That's okay. So I'm,
Oh, Australia. If I
very good. Exactly. And I'll probably pull a map up because that will make it a lot easier to explain if it loads. So I'm from Australia. And do you know where that is on the map or in the world?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is right down the bottom, very far from everything. And what do you know about Australia?
There's kangaroos at there,
Mm-hmm.
and
Excellent.
some other animals that can't explain yet.
That you can't explain or that can't be explained?
Can't be explained, as I know.
Yes, there's a lot of very interesting and strange wildlife in Australia.
And I know that there is less people live at there.
Yes, I think more kangaroos than people, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a very low population for the size of it. It's only got 25 million people. Do you know what the population of your country is?
The human stats in here.
Mm-hmm.
As I remember, it's 8 millions or something.
I think it's around 80 million or more. Mm-hmm. So much, much more people live in Turkey than Australia.
5 millions.
Mm-hmm. But yes, Australia is bigger, has more space than Turkey, but less
Yeah,
people.
correct.
But yeah, a lot of Australia is desert. So that's why there's so many people there.
At the middle is all of is desert much.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So there's very low rainfall. So it's hard to have huge cities in the desert because of that problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And most people live around the coast of Australia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And because it's an island, it evolved very differently from the rest of the world. That's why the animals are so interesting.
I have learned some about geography, and as I know, it's at some peoples have live at north and no at south, but there is not much people at north of Australia.
Uh-huh. There's not. And that's because the north of Australia is very tropical. So
Oh,
it's much closer to the equator. So in the winter, the weather is nice, but in the summer, there can be cyclones, extreme heat, heavy rainfall and floods, like very, very harsh tropical weather. So it's very hard for people to live there all year round. Mm-hmm. Whereas down south is a lot more Mediterranean climate, more similar to what you have in Turkey, but not as cold. The winter is always more mild. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And do you know what this animal is here?
No.
Have you ever seen it before?
1 minute. Is it eyelash?
One more time?
Eyelash, sorry.
Eyelash, like this? No, it's not an eyelash. This is called an echidna.
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 Oh.
It's a funny name. But these are maybe the most interesting animals in Australia. This one here, the platypus and the echidna. And they're very, very unique because they lay eggs. But they're also mammals, like humans. So they have, let me see. They lay eggs and a little baby comes out tiny, and then it drinks its mother's milk. And
I guess small as well. It's the smallest egg that I see before.
Exactly. So like other animals like kangaroos, they give birth live like humans do, like mammals do. But the echidna and the platypus lay eggs. And there's no other mammals that do this. Only birds and reptiles normally lay eggs.
Yeah.
So it's very, very strange, very, very cute. And then the baby lives in a pouch like a kangaroo and grows up.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. But that's a very unique thing about some Australian animals. Mm-hmm. And what are your
Please go on.
I said, so I feel like you enjoy science because I watched that science experiment on YouTube.
Yeah.
But what other interests do you have, and what's your favorite subject in school?
I like math as well, but I like to learn something about geography too.
Mm-hmm. And yes, So learning English and talking to people all over the world is a very good way to learn about geography. It helps
Yeah.
me learn geography as well. Because before I started tutoring, I didn't know very much about Turkey at all, but now I speak to lots of students from Turkey and I learn more and more places.
And how many students that you speak at Cambly?
How many students?
Yeah,
In total?
yeah, on the stage.
I don't know. I think they give me the statistics, but lots and lots.
Oh,
So, and maybe 50% of my students are from Turkey. It's the most popular nationality. I'm not sure how I can see how many people I've spoken to, but I've been tutoring for about 1.5 to 2 years, so lots of people.
oh, it's lots.
Yes, it's lots. Maybe like on average 4 or 5 people a day for a long time. And do you remember what else I said on my profile, Rezan?
You are live at Mexico now.
Very
and
good.
You like traveling
Mm-hmm.
and diving.
Yes, lots of diving. I do like
And
diving.
sailing, as I remember.
Yeah. Okay, you have a very good memory.
And your dream is sail with boat and dive.
Yes, that is my dream when I have more money to buy a boat. I would love to travel around the world and sail and dive on a sailboat. Exactly. So let's look at the map because you love geography. So I'm from over here in Australia. This is my city, Perth, Western Australia.
Oh,
A very beautiful city. It's on the
correct.
river. And of course, it's on the coast because everybody in Australia, nearly everybody, lives along the coast. And maybe on the complete opposite side of the world, I'm now living here on the coast of Mexico.
Oh,
So I live
again,
very...
sea, ocean.
Yes, a very, very big ocean away. And do you know anything about Mexico? What do you think of when you think of Mexico?
I don't know much about Mexico.
That's okay. What about food? Have you ever heard of Mexican food?
Actually, I have watched some food. They like cheese, if I'm not false.
They do love cheese, yes. They also like chili a lot. Everything is very spicy in Mexico.
Yeah,
Do you like spicy food?
I like.
Fantastic. Maybe you'd like to visit Mexico one day because the food here is very, very delicious. They love chili, they love like lime and lemon, and they love corn like tortillas, and they love cheese as well.
As I see, they like to do cheese pasta or cheese hamburger.
Cheese
They
hamburger.
they use a lot of cheese at all things.
So because Mexico is close to the United States, a lot of the food kind of gets mixed between the USA and Mexican. So maybe that's more like American food, like American Mexican food. But this is Mexican food, like a typical, the things that it's made up of. It's usually very, very vibrant, full of flavor and spice. They use lots of chilies, different types of chilies. This is kind of an American style taco, so it's kind of comida mixed with the USA and Mexico. Do you know what these are, tacos?
No.
So little tortillas with meat and vegetables, and they put lots of spicy sauce on it as well.
Oh,
But yes, maybe you heard of something like quesadillas or enchiladas.
yeah, I have seen this.
And this is guacamole. They love avocados as well.
I don't like avocado too much.
Oh, no. All right, that's okay. But my students from Turkey say that there's lots of similarities with Mexican food and Turkish food. Like they use a lot of the same ingredients. Awesome.
Right.
And let me pull the map back up. So this is, yes, Mexico is a very strange shape of a country. Kind of.
And it's looking like small near America.
Yes, compared to the USA, it's very small, and Canada, of course. But it's very, very diverse. So every state, you can see these lines, there's 32 states in Mexico.
Oh.
And in my experience traveling to different states, you find different foods, people are different, like just their kind of, their attitudes are different. So it's very kind of, you can keep traveling in Mexico and discovering new things. Each place has different history, different culture, different traditions. So it's very, very interesting to keep traveling around. Like, for example, I live here on the Pacific Ocean. So life here is very different to how it is in the Caribbean side up here.
Oh.
And then very different from Central Mexico as well.
It's near America or near other countries.
So this South Mexico is closer to Guatemala. That's the first country in Central America that has a border with Mexico. So this has Guatemala and Belize. And then all of this is Central America. And you get down to South America. And do you know what?
Have you ever traveled to South America?
No, not yet. I would love to, and I will one day. But so far, I've only been in Mexico because there's so many places to visit. But I would like to live here and work here and then travel to different places in Central America.
In which countries did you travel at your?
So I'm from Australia. I did lots of backpacking around Southeast Asia. So I went to Indonesia, which is very close to Australia. Very, very beautiful. I've been to Singapore, Malaysia, been to Cambodia and Thailand. I've also been to the Philippines.
Philippines or Ireland?
Yes. It's a nation made up of 7,000 different islands.
Oh.
So very, very, some of them are very small, some of them are bigger. So I've just been to quite a few islands, but just in one region. So there's so much to explore in the Philippines. And I would love to go back. I would love to go to Palawan, for example. And it's very, very beautiful water here. So beautiful for diving and sailing and water activities. And I've also been, so my parents are both from the UK. So they emigrated to Australia. So I go back a lot to visit my family. All my cousins and uncles and aunts live in the UK, and also in France. And I've also traveled to some other places in Europe. I've been to Ireland. I've been to the Netherlands, Belgium, France. When I was younger, I went to... You've been to the Netherlands?
No, my aunt is at France.
She's at the Netherlands or in France. You have an aunt in France.
Yeah.
And have you ever visited her in France?
Maybe this year.
Okay, maybe this year you visit her. Very exciting. And have you traveled to other places in Europe?
No.
Have you ever been outside of the country in Turkey?
Never.
Okay, fantastic. And you have interested in visiting your aunt in France and Sweden, but what other countries would you love to visit?
UK, America, and Germany, and Italy,
Mm-hmm.
and Switzerland.
Mm-hmm. Switzerland too. Switzerland's a very beautiful country. I have never been to Switzerland either. I've never been to
Maybe.
Italy or Germany, but very nice.
And what other question?
Mm-hmm.
Have you have you any? Do you have any pets?
Okay. Right now, I don't have any pets, but before I had a dog, but she passed away. And my brother has a cat, a little kitten. So he found this kitten and rescued it, but the kitten is paralyzed. Do you know
Oh,
what that means?
yeah.
It means it can't move its back legs. So sometimes I help look after this little kitten. How about you? Do you have any pets, Razan?
I don't have pets. I try to have an aquarium at home.
You have an aquarium at school.
No, I take it one at for my home.
So you have a tank, like an aquarium for fish?
No, I don't have any fish, and I have looked some, and I have when I take a small tank, I get one fish, and after that I'm try to get much more bigger ones and take snake fish as well.
Okay, cool. So you have a plan to
Yeah,
build an aquarium and start with small fish and build it up. And do you like fish? Are you very interested in fish?
yeah, and when I'm 7, if I'm not false, I have a fish,
Mm.
and
What type of fish?
uh, if I'm not false, it's butterfly.
A butterfly fish.
Yeah, and everyone have feed this fish, and in the end, after that, at the other day, the fishes die.
Because they got too much food.
Yeah,
So did it look something like this? Or was it different?
yeah, kind
Okay,
of.
very beautiful. Okay. When I was young, I had a fish called a Japanese fighting fish. Do you know this type of fish?
Yeah, I have feed it as well.
So you had this fish too?
Yeah,
Yeah, me too, because they're really beautiful, but they only need a little bit of space to
yeah,
live in. Though they'd probably be happier with a big tank. But yes, fish are very hard to keep alive sometimes because it's not so natural for them to live in a tank. So they're a little bit sensitive.
and do you like birds?
I love birds, yes. So I really like to take photographs of birds. But I've never had a bird as a pet.
Oh,
Would you like to have a bird as a pet?
I have feed a crow at first.
You fed
And
a crow?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
and I want to feed a hawk now.
You want to feed a hawk? All right.
Yeah,
Feeding a hawk would be awesome. And having it like rest on your hand.
I like some birds that eat meat.
We have to say goodbye now, Rezan, but this was an awesome
See you.
conversation. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.